Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies and Man once again, and today we're going to be doing our TBR video for the month of September. I apologize for the construction noise in the background. Again, I live in an apartment complex. They're building a new apartment complex in front of it, and they're really in the end game now. They're really trying to get it done quickly, so there's a lot of people working all day long. So I apologize for that if you can hear it. I don't know for sure if you guys can hear it, but if you can, I apologize. Now let's get into the TBR video. As always, Red Rising and Shadow Rising are still on the list, even though I'm not necessarily going to make myself read them, because at the end of the day, these are kind of books that I want to read. I just haven't gone around to because I'm a horrible mood reader and I'm really bad at actually keeping a schedule unless I am very directly engaged, and Red Rising and Shadow Rising have not managed to do that for me yet. So I will eventually finish them. I just don't know when. So yeah, let's start with the novels. Then we'll do comic books. Then we'll do manga, and it'll be fun. So yeah, the thematic element for this month is sci-fi, because sci-fi September sounds fun to me. It sounds like a nice alliteration. However, there's going to be some elements of superhero stuff, and there's also just going to be stuff that is not related to the theme at all, because I just want to read it before a certain time for whatever reason, right? So I'll get to those specifically when I talk about them. So let's start with digital novels. So I have two of them. One is Fruit of Evolution, which was sent to me by Hanashi Media. This is a light novel, but I'm going to put it in the novel section because it's still a book, right? In that kind of same sense. So Fruit of Evolution, Volume 1, Hanashi Media sent it to me 2 weeks ago. I still haven't finished reading it, so hopefully I finish reading it here soon so I can make a review for it. Along the same lines, a friend of the channel, Jacob Tanner, who I did a review for previously, sent me the new book that he has just launched, which is called The Last Swordmaster or something like that. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. He just sent it to me this morning, and I just added it to my list, so there should be a picture of it somewhere so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So those two are my first parts of my TBR. Then let's get into physical novels. So I want to finish The Rising Storm. The third book in the series is going to come out here in late September, at least in paperback format. So I want to read this before I get into that one. Also, Sci-Fi September, Star Wars is sci-fi. It makes sense to review it in September. So there it is. Now these two are definitely on my TBR, but I don't know if I'll get around to reading them because, well, there's just a lot of stuff that I have on my TBR this month. So first is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a book I've never read before, and it's an absurdist sci-fi story, which is really interesting. Murphy Napier is a very big fan of this story after she read One Piece, decided she liked absurdism, and then got into other absurdist works, and so she got into Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and decided that it was really good, and so I want to give it a chance. Also, I bought this a long time ago and I just never got around to reading it, so here we are. And the last novel here is this other one that is sci-fi. I think technically it might be sci-fantasy because it's Tarnsman of Gore. This is a relative of, in some ways, to John Carter of Mars, the Pellucidar novels, you know, all of the Edgar Rice Burroughs sci-fantasy stuff that then became really big and impacted a lot of other things, including Star Wars, also led to the creation of these erotic fantasy or erotic sci-fi novels, and I think Tarnsman of Gore is one of them. This also has some sort of subculture established around it. I don't really know too much about that. I don't really care about that stuff. I saw this book in a store once, and I thought it was interesting. I really like this cover. It looks really awesome and interesting. And I really like John Carter of Mars-esque stories, and this one is one of them. So I wanted to check it out, but I do know that it's more erotic in nature than John Carter of Mars, even though everyone was naked in John Carter of Mars, so maybe that one is erotic too in a specific, you know, way. But it's only 200 chapters long, or 200 pages long, and it should really not be that difficult to read. So here we are, Tarnsman of Gore. And that is it for the novels. Now let's get into the comic book section. I have three digital comics and then 3 physical comics. So starting with Money Shot by Vault, I have the first 2 volumes digitally. I bought these from them at the beginning of last month because they had this small little sale going on Amazon where all of their volumes were basically $2 a pop, and I picked up 3 of them. So Money Shot 1 and 2, which is a interesting kind of story. It's about these explorers, these people from Earth that are out in space, and they're trying to explore something or do some sort of scientific study, but they need money to do so, and so they're deciding that the best way to fund their work is to fuck the aliens that they're talking to and record it and put it online, as far as I understand the plot synopsis. And so it's really weird. It's basically, you know, a sci-fi porn story, so it's very similar to this. It's going to be erotic fantasy or science fiction to an extent. You know, I'm pretty sure there's rules against, you know, how far you can go in comic books, because they are for kids, right? So I don't know how raunchy it's going to get, but Vault did Barbaric, and so we can expect at least that level of fan service, right? So yeah, it's interesting. I got it because it was really cheap, and I really like the art style, so that's cool. And then the next one is No One's Rose, which I don't know too much about. I also got it because it was $2, and I like the art style. More often than not, I buy comic books because I like the art style and it's cheap. So it is what it is. Sometimes I get a really good story. Sometimes I get one that doesn't really work for me. But No One's Rose is one that I'm interested in. It looked interesting. It looked cool. And so I decided to give it a go. It's only a single self-contained issue, or sorry, not a self-contained issue, a self-contained story in one trade. So hopefully it's good. If not, it's fine. And now finally we got to the physical media. So here we have Black Science, Volume 1. This is a Rick Remender work. And if I understand this correctly, these people are scientists, but they're against the normal way of science, and so they go do something else, and they end up doing stuff that is pretty concerning. They end up in this thing called the Eververse, and that's all I know about it. So there you go. That's Black Science. Following up with another Rick Remender work is Low, which is one of these things where humanity somehow fucks up Earth, and so they had to live underground. And it turns out that there's this decay of the society around them. And so there is a situation that occurs, and then people have to go on this adventure. So that's all there is to it. That's all I know about it. Let's see. Premature expansion, irradiated Earth. Humanity has to go into the sea, hidden with radiation-shielded cities. And they have to probe space. Eventually, one of them returns, and Earth is no longer what it was back then. A family of the helmsmen have to journey to find salvation. So that's cool, pretty interesting. I thought it was underground, but apparently it's under the ocean. So either way, it's cool, it's interesting, that's cool. And I'm pretty excited about it. And then finally we cross into the first superhero type thing, which is Gemini. This is a self-contained one-trade story. I think it's 5 issues long. And I saw Near Mint Condition mention this. Omar from Near Mint Condition mentioned this in one of his recommendation videos, Hidden Gems or something like that, I think. And it seems interesting, so I picked it up, and I'm excited to get into it. I really like this art style. It's really funky, and it's cool. So, yeah, that's it for the comic books. Now let's get into manga. So, in terms of digital manga that is thematic, we have Dolly Kill Kill, which is a sci-fi horror psychological thriller. We have Ashitaka Volume 1. I don't know too much about this one, but I bought it because it was 80 cents, and so there you go. Blam 1, this is the collector's edition, the special edition, I forgot what it's called. But it's that one, but it's digital because I bought it for $1. Knights of Sidonia Volume 1. Love After World Domination, which is a superhero story. I'm pretty sure it's a tokusatsu style story, so there's a Power Rangers character or something like that. I also want to read Dragon Ball. Now, Dragon Ball technically originally starts as a martial arts story, but the main character is an alien, right? So it's sci-fi, right? We can agree with that. So I'm going to read Dragon Ball, the Son Goku saga, which is the first 20-something chapters, the first 30 chapters, I think. of the story, and if I have time, I'll read the next saga, and if I don't, it's fine. Eventually, the point is that I want to read the big three plus Dragon Ball in a timely manner across the coming months, probably across the next year or so. I originally was going to do one at a time, but I decided that I'm just going to do, you know, bits and pieces here and there as we go along. So, yeah, that's it for the digital sci-fi comics. A digital not sci-fi comic would be, or sorry, not comics, manga would be Wano. I really want to finish reading One Piece, get caught up to One Piece, so that I can go watch Film Red, and not feel like I'm missing something. So I'm really excited about that. Film Red, I think, doesn't come out here in the US until November, at some point in November. I think it's middle of November. So hopefully I'll read Wano this month, and I'll be caught up, and I'll have time to make all of my videos the same way that I did after the time skip, and get ready for Film Red, because I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying One Piece. At this point, I'm a mega fan, just like everyone else is, and I'm really happy with the experience of reading it. So, yeah, I want to read Wano. So, yeah, switching over to physical media again. So, let's start with Eden Zero. This is a sci-fi story. It's sci fantasy. Hiramashima's work. 17 is the latest physical volume available, although 18 is already available digitally, so that's cool. And then a superhero story would be Deadpool Samurai. If I like this, I'll buy the second one, and I'll just review them both together, because it's just easier to do it if it's only 2 volumes. If I don't like it, I'll put it on my pile to go sell, because the third quarter ends at the end of September, so I'll have another on-haul video here soon. So, yeah, Deadpool Samurai, don't have much to say about it. It's just Deadpool, and he messes around with some My Hero Academia characters, I think, so that's fun. Then we have another sci-fi story here, which is Katsura Akira. This is Akira Toriyama makes the stories, and what's the other guy's name? Masakazu Katsura, who did Eyes and a few other series that are really popular with the older American manga collectors, did the art style. He also did Setman, so that one's cool. And they joined forces. They made this volume together, and this is a short story collection, and it's all sci-fi, or at least I think it's all sci-fi. The first one is definitely sci-fi, and it's pretty interesting. I'm not too sure what's in it, but I do definitely want to read it, and it looks really, really cool, so I am hopeful that I will enjoy it. And if I don't, it's not a big deal. It was $6 when I bought it in Mexico. So, yeah, now let's get into the physical manga that is not related to the sci-fi theme this month. So, first is Double. Now, I didn't know that Double was available in English via Tokyo Pop. So I bought it when it was released in Spanish via Manga Line Mexico. I also mostly got it because there's a lot of cool little, what's it called? What's the right word for it? A bunch of little special pre-order bonuses is the word. And so I bought them, and I'm quite happy with the pre-order bonuses. Let me show you. But I want to get into Double and see if I like it so I can start ordering the next volume. So there's a postcard, there's a bookmark, which has each character on one side, and these 4 little, what are they called? Trading cards. I really wish they made like a bag to them, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. So there you go. That's it for that. So I don't know too much about Double. I think it's about these 2 actors, and they're really good with each other, but they kind of suck when they're far apart, and this causes them to develop some friction between each other. So I'm pretty interested to see how that goes. Next is Way of the House Husband. I was gonna wait and actually try to make a whole Yakuza reading experience, but I don't really have that many Yakuza mangas, so I'm not going to do that. Also, most of them are just kind of like scattered all over the place. They don't really have a main genre or anything. Like, they all are about delinquents, but usually it's not very common that they all kind of have the same style. Most of them are very different, broadly speaking. So yeah, there's nothing much to say about this story. It has cool artwork, and Way of the House Husband is a really popular series, so hopefully I like it too, and if I don't, I'll get rid of it. It's not, that big of a deal. Then, the last thing that I want to put on my list is Vagabond. Volume 1, this is the Mexican kind of almost Kanzenban edition style thing that they did for all of Takehiko Inoue's work that they have put out, and hence these little French flaps. It was supposed to come with a bookmark, but the copy that I got did not have it, sadly, so that sucks. It has color pages and everything, so that's cool. But yeah, I basically just want to read it so I can decide if I like it or not, because there's some sales coming up. Panini does a sale for celebrating Mexican Independence Day from the 14th to the 17th, I think, of September. And then they do El Buen Fin, which is basically Thanksgiving, what's it called now? Thanksgiving, Black Friday, in November. So I want to know if I want to buy more of these for December when I go visit my family, or when they come visit us this year. I can't remember exactly what's going to happen with that, but I want to order more stuff, and I want to know if I want to read this before if I want to read more of it before I order, so that I can plan out my buying schedule, right? Because mostly I want to buy more Saint Seiya and Yu Yu Hakusho, but I can't wait for those because those are super popular, so they're always going to be in print. But I'm not too sure about all the other things that I collect. So it is what it is. Hopefully I can read Vagabond soon, and if not, it's fine. It's whatever. So yeah, that's my big ass TBR for this month, and I hope I can read all of it. If I can't, it's no big deal. It's not gonna affect me all that badly or anything like that. I don't really care all that much. The point is just to have a broad spectrum of things so that I can still be a mood reader within the confines of a specific list, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys are reading down below, and thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.